Hey there, awesome folks. This is MentorShelly, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally, guys. What we are going to do tonight, how you doing? It's been a minute since I've been with y'all. Face to face, of course. And y'all know life has been lifing, but we are here and we are in the place and we got some things to discuss about work environments and things of that nature. And I have a special surprise for you guys. Yes, I do. Hello, Denise. How you doing? I got a special surprise for you guys. Guess who decided to join me? It is your favorite credit solution. It's Miss Victoria. Hey. Uh-oh, Victoria, you muted yourself. You're on mute, darling. You're on
Hey,
mute.
hey, y'all. I think I'm back. Is my audio good?
Yes, yes, we can hear you now. Okay, we just
Hey,
want to make
y'all.
sure.
Happy
Make sure
Friday,
it's
everybody. We're so glad to be with you tonight.
hello, Miss Denise. Hello, Char Willie, if you're still here. And anyone else that's joining the chat, say hello. Hi, how you doing on this beautiful Friday evening? Want to make sure that we are here. If as you're coming in, go ahead and like the video. And of course, we are going to be discussing some things that's going on. Hello, your green thumb. All right, how you doing? And we're going to be discussing tonight a very serious topic because I would hate for any one of you to either, experience this or, be in an environment where this can happen. However, you can't really predict the work environment, you can only adapt to it. All right, we're going to be talking about, I don't know if you guys have heard about this. The article is talking about the fact, or what happened was at one of the Wells Fargo locations, somebody passed away and was in their cubicle sitting down. And the only reason they figured out something was wrong with the person is because they started to emit a foul odor. The person passed away. So let's go ahead and discuss that a little bit. All right. So here is the article. It was written by The Independent. The writer, of course, I want to give credit where credit is due, by Greg Gaziozzi. But of course, guys, forgive me for the mispronunciation. There's a lot of other publications that talked about this. So the pretty much is the woman at Wells Fargo branch in Arizona died while she was at work and was not found until 4 days later, according to police.
Mhm.
Denise Prudhomme, 60, arrived at Tempe, Arizona's bank's office at 7 a.m. on August 26 for her shift, but died at her desk on the third floor of the building. She wasn't found until August 20th when security at the building stumbled upon her body. Wow. Oh my goodness.
Mm-mm.
Firefighters and police were called out to the building where the woman was declared dead at 4:55 p.m. The police said. The officer of the medical examiner in Tempe said her manner of death is still pending, according to US of A. Police said an initial investigation found no evidence of foul play contributing to the woman's death. Their investigation will continue, including interviews with other employees at the bank location. Employees at the bank began to suspect something was off when they began to note a foul smell in the building. Nobody bothered to check. This is not the type of environment where people say hello to each other, apparently. They began to note a foul smell in the building, but believed it to be plumbing issues, according to KPNX, citing an anonymous employee. Prudemore's cubicle was not near the third floor main aisle, which may explain why it took so long before she was discovered, according to KPNX. Many of the bank's employees work remotely, but the building does have round the clock security. One employee said they were sickened by the thought of their coworker's body sitting for days in her cubicle. To hear she's been sitting at her desk like that would make me feel sick, the employee said to K-12 News, and nobody did anything. That's how she spent her last moments. Psst. Let me just a moment of silence for this lady because she
Mhm.
died at work. Jesus. One of
Of
the
all the
employees
places, that's the
of
last place
all
I'd
the
want to
places. Wow.
go, girl.
One One of the employees told the broadcaster they were furious that security took 4 days to find the woman. We're going to talk about that. Calling it negligence. Wells Fargo issued a statement lamenting Prudhomme's death at KPNX. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family and loved ones during this time. And the company said counselors, through their EAP program, obviously, are available for support. We are fully cooperative with Tempe Police Department's investigation. And they'll direct more questions to them. I'm not going to play the video. It says publishing from 12. Okay, well, yeah, that's the publication that came on to, that actually published the article. When you hear this initially, Denise, I feel the same way. My first inclination when I saw this, I'm like, your last moments is at your job, at your desk? Good Lord.
Yeah. And I'm not even trying to be funny,
This,
but this is what would add insult to injury if it was also a freaking Friday that she got paid. That would also suck because it was a Friday. So I'm like, I wonder if it was payday Friday or like if it was like an off Friday. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. And then do we know if she even passed away on Friday or if it was Thursday or even Wednesday?
yeah.
We really don't know,
Am I
right?
having connectivity issues? Victoria, are you there?
You are
Are you there?
frozen. You're frozen.
Oh, I don't. Hello, Farida. How you doing?
You're back now.
Okay. I'm back. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're
Sorry
having
about that, guys. Technical
connectivity issues.
difficulties. Yeah. Yeah. It's heartbreaking,
Hmm.
but it speaks to the work environment she's also in. Um, that wouldn't have happened at the job that I work at, number one, because number one, we're way too small, of an office. And everybody says hi to everybody.
Hmm.
And people check on you. What's going on with you today? Is everything good? And if we don't see somebody, we're asking, hey, what happened to so and so? Are they not at work today? Are they off? Are they good? We check on each other because, yeah, you're working, but you should at least have some form of level of concern for the people you see 8 hours a day, or 10 hours a day, or 12 hours a day, depending on the
Hmm.
type of job you're doing. But for the fact that nobody, and I'm going to talk about the work from home aspect as well. Some of these employers claim they want people to come back to work in the office.
Hmm.
Where was the security? They claim they found her on the fourth day. Didn't they check on the floors the first day, the second day, the third day?
I think
Like,
we know the answer.
that would be a no. They're not doing
Right.
their job.
They're not scanning the floors like they're supposed to. Because, girl, if you really think about it, people sleep at work sometimes. People do all kind of stuff at work. Where is security when this is happening? Right. So,
It really, like, it messed with me a little bit because I'm like, that could never happen here. And I shared that with some of my coworkers, and I was like,
mhm.
nobody checked. Y'all are that divided, or because you have some work environments that are really just like that. But it also
They
speaks
are.
to, there's some people that don't really speak to each other. Everything is through email. Nobody talks to each other. You
Hmm.
have some work environments that are like that. It's
Right.
sad, but it's true. It just is what it is. And you have to be able to, as a career professional, to be able to work in all environments.
Hmm.
But just from a human to human standpoint, if I want to spend my last moments around somebody's desk, are you crazy? No,
Well, I think
ma'am.
what's interesting is they said that she didn't work near the third floor aisle. What does that have to do with anything? I highly doubt that she was sitting in a corner by herself. I highly doubt that her boss would not have walked by and said, "Hey, good night, so and so, like I'll see you on Monday or whatever," right?
Exactly.
Um yeah, so I mean, what are your thoughts on that? It's like, okay, when you walk by, I mean, there's too many details missing. Were her eyes
That
open?
sounds like
Was she slumped over?
that sounds like Uh-oh. Oh,
Girl, your connectivity tonight.
guys.
Wells Fargo is hating.
I don't know. Yeah, it sounds like her boss. It sounds like the security officers are looking for an excuse not to go into the aisles of every area. They just go on the elevator, look around near the edge, and go back to the next floor. That's what
Right.
that sounds like. That doesn't sound like, oh, we actually check. Because if you check, she wouldn't have been sitting there 4 days. Let's be clear.
Well, I
So
have one. I
why
have
I wanted to
one.
talk.
Can you hear me,
Yes, I can hear
Shelly?
you now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
What's better
Yes.
is it's not just security. There are cleaning crews that come through and clean your wastebasket every night. So this is beyond just security or management. It's like this was literally everybody that walks through that building that has a duty to check every station, every, portion of the building was not
Right,
doing their
guys.
job, you know?
I seem
And
to be having a little
are you
connectivity
okay?
issue here and there. Give me a second. Let me see if I can move to a different area.
Girl, I
To see
think
if I
Wells
can get
Fargo is
better signal
watching.
because this is.
Oh, they put a one in the chat if you think Wells Fargo is watching. They're
No,
hating on her. They don't want this story out, y'all.
maybe, maybe that's what it is. Maybe
All
they
right,
said,
hold
we're
on.
gonna mess this up.
All right, you are still on camera. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, uh-oh.
I was like, girl, I don't think you meant to do that.
Okay.
Watch them buttons, sister.
Yes.
Got you. But yeah, I think it's insane because at the end of the day, there's too many people that can go through that office that should have saw her. The Friday night cleaning crew, the Friday night security crew, I'm sure there was somebody lurking in that building. Office buildings are not empty the entire weekend. I refuse to believe that. That just doesn't happen. And at my corporate job, there's like no way that you could hide in that building when I had that job years ago. No way at all.
Yeah.
Okay, you are back on camera.
Sorry about that. I'm back on camera. It's a little darker in here because I wasn't planning on doing it here, but the signal seems to be stronger here.
Okay.
Yeah,
do you have a light of some do you have a light of some sort? Because we can't see you at all.
You can't see me at all? Okay.
Girl, you're gonna need something.
Let's fix that. Let me fix that. Give me a moment.
No problem.
Okay. All right. All right. Listen.
Y'all witnessing technical difficulties in person. But yeah, there's no way that could possibly happen. So, I mean, there's a few areas that I wanted to talk to you tonight about because I can see that it's beyond just work-life balance. There's a lot of layers to this thing. So hopefully we'll dive into it once you get yourself back on camera.
Hold on. Okay. You guys can see me better now? All right.
No.
Sorry about that, guys.
Okay. Hold on.
No?
Yeah, your signal. There's something going on with your signal, girlfriend. I mean, it's blurry, but we can see you. Can you guys see her okay? Can you let her know if you can see her? Because my vantage point is not the same as the audience.
Give me a 1 if you can see me. I'm waving. Hello. Hi. Hey.
I can see you, but it's very blurry. Let me see.
Is that better? Can you see me now?
You're still blurry.
I'm blurry.
It's clearing up a little bit.
This is strange.
Okay. You were literally perfect when we were backstage. This is so bizarre.
I know. Is this better? Is that better, y'all? 1? Okay.
It's a little better.
Okay. Isn't this interesting? This is the last thing I was expecting because I definitely want to dig into some of this stuff.
Well, why
All
don't we
right, we're
do
gonna go
this?
over my
Why
boys.
don't you just go camless right now and then
Okay, all right, let's do that. Y'all see
because
my
it's
face.
yeah, it might be a little disorienting. It's disorienting. I think you should definitely do something different.
Okay, all right. So you see my face, but you see my face
Girl, I'll just be
on the
talking to
thing. All
myself. It's
right.
fine. It's fine. Wait, where's the icon?
Okay.
Hi,
If I'm
Shelly.
gonna go find, let me see if I can find a better. Okay, is this better? You guys can hear us better. We're good. All right, let's go. Let's get into this discussion then.
Okay.
A lot of this type of office, I want to ask these poignant questions, and you guys tell me if this is something that you experience. Is this what you have been working with before, or you've never worked in an office like this? Um, the type of work environment that would unfortunately have somebody literally die and be there for 4 days. Is that a work environment that where people care about each other? Is that a work environment where they check on each other? Is that a work environment that is fostering positive, feedback with your leaders? Are they
Mm.
checking in with each other? Are they doing everything? Is this something that is this an environment that all of that is going on or no?
You want me to answer or you want to wait for the audience?
Guys,
Because I'm gonna say it's a definite hell to
no,
the
I'm,
no.
I'm asking you, but I also want the answer to the audience to participate. I'm asking you, but I'm asking everybody.
Yeah, it's definitely a no. And I'm going back to when I was in an office environment, and there's definitely people, one or two that are in the office that do not associate with people. They don't have a sense of community with the coworkers. And I'm only wondering if she was one of those people. But even so, there were still so many bodies that went through that building. This should not have happened, no matter how antisocial she may or may not have been. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, girl. It's like I don't think we could have ever had that happen in the office environment that I was in, thinking back. And I mean, we had corners and cubicles and all kinds of stuff, and it just wasn't that kind of environment. We kind of maybe didn't know where everybody was throughout the day, but as soon as we did not see someone, we said, "Oh, have you seen so and so? Oh, have you seen so and so?" And me being my nosy self, I would walk myself over to your desk like, "Hey, why you hiding over here? What's going on?" I'm that coworker that would get on your nerves. So I don't know about you, Shelly. What kind of coworker you are? You are muted, by the way. Shelly?
I'm here. All right. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
very similar to you. I'll say hello to everybody. Hey, how you doing? Hi, good morning, everybody. If I don't hear a response, I'm going back. Are you all right?
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure everybody is good. Yeah, I definitely. I don't think I'd ever work. I definitely want to look into these comments as well to see you guys. See you guys in the chat. Hello, everybody that has come in since our technical difficulties. Yeah, your green thumb, 4 freaking days is actually unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Her manager, yeah, like where's the manager? She wasn't online for hours that first day. Didn't they think something was wrong? Yeah, boy. I got a lot of questions. Okay. All right. Barring the barring the technical difficulties, let me see. Okay, let's see here. Furry says I could have totally seen this happening at my job. I was at a Six Sigma training in Nashville and the Amazon group building, and I could see this happening for sure. Wow. Okay. Hello Alonzo. Welcome to the live. I I could see this happening. There was a company. I think I'd only worked at one place where this kind of nonsense could really happen. I actually worked there for a grand total of 2 days
Mm-hmm.
because I was temping there and I went in the environment. It was stoically quiet. Not even a library was this quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I went came in. I said, "Where do I sit?" I went to go to my seat. and they said, "Oh, you nobody really talks. Everybody communicates via email." I was there for a few hours and I had to go outside. It was nauseating. I can't work in an environment like that. I didn't, I worked there for a grand total of 2 days.
Hmm.
Oh my God. So, at the very least, people, let's be human. Let's be decent humans towards each other and say hello when you're at work. Like, you would think that would be kind of a given, but clearly that is not the case. So,
And I really don't think that that is it's weird because when I first got into the workforce, I'd
mhm,
say back in like I don't know, when was my first corporate job? Like maybe 2010, maybe like 2010, 2011-ish was like when I actually got into an office environment. Call center stuff, I had done that. Well, I guess no, like girl, let me not lie. Maybe like 2007.
okay.
And in that particular environment, that would never have happened because the people I got hired with, we all stayed close knit because we all ended up on the same team. So it was very energetic. It was very much like, oh, this is so new. Like we've never done anything like this before. Like it's so cool to be at a corporate building or corporate office. And
Hmm.
there was just an excitement there that I don't think was going to dull unless we were there for a few years. And I can't really see an office building being like that unless it's very tech driven.
Hmm.
Um, so that's the only thing that I can truly think about. But on the other hand, I know that there is this culture now at work where it's go in, mind your own business. What do they say? You know, mind your business and drink your water. A lot of people have that attitude right now. And it doesn't help that this woman was over the age of 60. So do you think that her age played a part in this at all? Because I absolutely do, as far as her becoming invisible in the workplace.
Depending on the environment, absolutely. Because they
Okay.
may not they may only check on their people that they associate with, and if there was not another person in that work environment that was her age or that works with her directly on
Hmm.
projects, they're probably never going to go over to her desk and say hello just for the sake of saying hello. Um,
Right.
this particular work environment just gives cold and indifferent. Hello, Miss Athena.
Hey,
Welcome to
girl.
live.
Yeah,
Hey.
we don't know what the environment was, and you know, me being who I am, I'm naturally suspicious of what's going on here because I feel like either there's too many variables. Like she could have been that withdrawn employee. She could have been I mean, I remember I worked with a lady that was getting really sick, and as she got sick, she kind of scooted through the hallways, and people slowly began to disassociate themselves from her, right? So she was like isolated from the group because she was sick and she was kind of slow, and nobody really wanted to take the time to just talk to her, you know? So I just feel like there's too many aspects here, and then maybe whatever her work was, it wasn't missed. You know what I mean? Like, have you seen that movie Office Space before? Has anybody seen that movie, like,
Yes.
in the chat?
Yes.
You remember the
That guy
guy?
that was in the basement. Yep.
Yeah, and I don't have my swing line stapler. My swing line is back there, but like he loved his swing line stapler. She could have literally been that guy. Like the movie Office Space was literally a caricature, but also an accurate depiction of the American office
At
life.
the time. At that time, yeah.
Yeah,
You're absolutely
exactly.
correct.
And every office has one of those. Every office has one where it's like, why are you here? What do you do? So I'm wondering if she was that person. What do you think?
It's highly possible because
Hmm.
like there's okay. Me being in human resources,
Hmm.
there's no way that I personally, knowing who works in the front area, is gonna go for. I'll say, well, maybe one day, like I'll say, okay, I'll go to, like I know there's one, two, three, four, five of us that sit up front, and
Hmm.
then there's other like some of the mechanics, some of the refrigeration guys, some of the other technical skills guys, and then there's some people that are in production.
Hmm.
So if I don't see somebody for a couple of days, and I don't see certain things, I'm asking questions. Well, what happened to this person? Or I'm talking to
Facts.
the supervisor. I'm talking to the manager. I'm saying what's going on. Well,
Mm-hmm.
because of the unique position that I'm in, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to check on people naturally because we're supposed to be in charge of the humans.
I was just gonna say, can you do you are you I don't know if the audience knows what you do. Can you tell us just a brief synopsis of what you actually do? Because I think it will connect and it will click for people a little bit more while you're
Okay.
talking about this.
I have been and still am in human resources in current and past positions for over 20 years now in different
Mm-hmm.
industries. In the TPA industry, in the medical industry, currently in the food production industry.
Mm-hmm.
But human resources, at the end of the day, we're far reaching. We're involved in every business aspect because there's people involved in the business. So we're involved in the business.
Mm-hmm.
I have been and probably will ever continue to always be a part of HR in some capacity, even when I may transition to other things because I
Right.
pivoted for a couple of years to insurance, but still
Mm-hmm.
used a lot of and had to still function in some of my HR capacities and skills to make that role what it was. So at the end of the day, I kind of I exude HR in whether I want to or not. Because the first thing when I hear something like that, like, wait a minute, who's their HR person? That's the first thing I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Why in the world this person missed? Didn't
Right.
anybody not check on her? If she's at a computer working, has anybody gotten emails from her the last day or so? Let me go see what's going on. Because if I can't find somebody, I'm either calling your supervisor or I'm going to your department. What's happened? Okay,
Right.
what? So it's not acceptable for these people to say, "Oh, she wasn't sitting close to where I lazily didn't want to walk
Yeah.
to go check for security."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Low Extreme, welcome to the live.
Hey, Extreme.
Yeah, so this is nonsense. Oh, she wasn't near the entrance of the elevator, so we missed her. No, because you're lazy. Um,
Yeah, and honestly, I think their lack of concern and just checking in on their employees, and you know what I mean, like the lack of following their own policies is what got exposed here. So they're trying to kind of piece together little bits and pieces to give to the media. But I'm going to tell you, this exposed their work life culture better than any comments or
correct,
reviews on Indeed.com or Glassdoor
correct.
ever could have.
Because I'm gonna also tell you, anybody that is working or was looking for a job at
Hmm.
that particular location of Wells Fargo is gonna think twice now, or they may
Absolutely.
they may turn it down just for that reason.
Very true. And how about this? As an HR professional, do you think that they phased out whatever her position was, or do you think they're going to fill it? Because we still don't know what she does or did. Have you noticed that? They're not
They're
saying anything.
they're going to be mum's the word because I'm
Hmm.
almost sure if she has family, they're probably suing.
Got you. I got
And
you.
because of that, they are going to keep quiet because by it would be to their advantage to not say anything because if they do say something, it might incriminate them. So yeah, there
That's
or
true.
either that if the role is important enough, they're going to fill it if it's a
Hmm.
key role. But if it was such a key role, she wasn't functioning for 4 days. Anyway, I'm sorry, my HR bells are going off.
Well,
Uh,
one more thing. I think I have one more thing to add, and then we can move on.
mhm.
Because I don't know if everybody knows, I'm a guest on Mentor Shelly's show tonight. So this is not my live stream, guys. This is actually like Shelly's.
Yeah.
Um, but what I was gonna say is that with the smell thing, because they did say that they only noticed because there was a smell. So
Hmm.
my thing is, if she's already smelling, that means that her body was probably swelling
Yep.
and decomposing,
Losing.
which means there was some discoloration. the fluids were probably coming out. I mean,
Nope.
there's just too much. And it was Arizona. Was the AC on? Was it in Arizona? That's where it
Yeah,
happened,
it
right?
is. Tempe.
Girl, if that AC was not on,
Jesus Lord.
oh my God, because your body does not start to smell if there is air conditioning. And I only know that because when I worked in senior housing, I had a resident that actually did die in her unit, but she always kept it cold in the apartment. So there was no indication because she was essentially being refrigerated. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that the air was turned very low or it
Mm.
was off altogether. So there's no telling what they actually discovered at that cubicle because if they smelled something, thought it was sewage, okay, are we now saying that nobody walked by and could
That's
sense
exactly what they said
what?
the whisper part out loud.
Right, because
Nobody
I'm
bothered to
like,
look because if she had time to decompose, nobody looked over there.
I cannot imagine what the hell they found at that desk. And I'm not being disrespectful to her, but I'm like, just given what it was August. It was probably hot as you know what.
Mm-hmm.
And a dead body
Mm-hmm.
does not smell like sewage, y'all. It's a very distinct smell
I'm not
that
trying to find
smells like,
out.
no, it smells like nothing else.
Okay.
And, but that's what I was going to say. It's so weird.
Yeah.
When you work in housing,
Yeah. Then of course, yeah, that
you
you're
run
gonna
into
run
dead
into that.
bodies. Okay, y'all, you run into
Mhm.
dead bodies. That's a part of management nobody will tell you.
Oh,
But yes, when
yeah.
with property management, you run into dead bodies, and there's just too many variables. But girl,
Right.
that's all I wanted to say. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. Welcome to the chat, Academic of Meaningful Education. Yeah, they probably turned the
Hey.
AC off. Yeah.
Oh God, can y'all imagine? Oh my
Oh
God.
Lord, in Arizona, where the heat in
And
August
then
is
she's on the third floor.
oh Jesus. So she was busy.
Mm.
Anyway, let's not focus on that.
Okay, because I'm like, I
Um,
live upstairs, and girl,
look,
it'd be hot.
I'm gonna ask. There's a couple of questions I want to put to the audience as well.
Okay.
Could leadership have noticed patterns of overwork, exhaustion, or disengagement earlier to prevent such a tragedy? Do you even think they noticed? Do you even think they were checking in on her? Just her work, so to speak. Like, was she working on projects where she'd have to check in every couple of days? What was she working on? What was her position? Those are the questions I'm asking because they didn't reveal any of that in the article, nor did they release that information. Um, what
You
I
want to
have
give it? Did you want us to answer that or no?
Yeah, you can, or other people, you guys can put, give me your feedback in regards to that. What are they? Were they an always on type of culture, where they're going, 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 going. So if they're not going, 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 nobody pays attention to them. Is that why she was ignored? Because she was ignored. Let's be perfectly honest. She was ignored. And as an employer, I'm going to say this as an HR, we usually don't reveal this. As an employer, the employer is subjected to a lot more liability in this case, simply because the amount of time and nobody checked, nobody looked. They had people in the building and it was still not discovered until there was a smell. That means who was supposed to be keeping track and seeing what's going on in the building is not doing their job either.
Girl, this is
So
too many layers.
it's,
Too
it's
many layers.
there's so many unanswered questions where this, in my mind, they're either doing their best to hide information, or she's connected and they're trying to keep everything hush hush until they can formulate a statement that is going to make them look a lot less guilty.
Okay.
Right. Academic of Meaningful Education says, I have a close friend that worked for Wells Fargo. The worker that died is partially remote. Okay. My
Can we
friend,
put that on the screen, Shelly?
yeah, yeah,
All right. Oh, there
the
we go. Okay.
was partially remote. My friend had to go to meetings every single day, but I guess it depends on your job title.
Mm.
That's true. Extreme also says they're probably renaming that position if there was foul play. I wouldn't put that past them either. That's a good point.
Listen,
Um, Farida says I don't think they even cared as long as her work got done. Wow.
I'm with Farida. Farida,
Yeah.
you and I, same page. That's the answer, Shelly. But for me, I'm just saying for me, I think that's the answer.
Yeah.
If
Plus,
your work gets done, they don't care where your body's at.
yeah, Farida, and I'm gonna bear witness to this. Um, yeah, every company pretty much has a policy on their employees
Ooh,
as well.
Lord.
It's usually free. You don't have to, but they pay for it.
Right.
Hmm. Trey Wilson said, Walsall is asking, was there any camera footage? I'm gonna almost bet that there was,
Come
but
on, y'all. See, we
but
warming
they're
up,
not
y'all.
gonna show
We
that.
warming up. See, we not dumb on this channel. We are not dumb on these channels here,
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah,
Come on,
they're,
y'all.
yeah.
Come with
They're
it.
they're not gonna show that because that is going to incriminate the heck out of them at this
Oh
point.
man. There's
Yeah.
so many people that are gonna get sued here. Oh
Mhm.
god.
That's why I didn't necessarily want to talk about it right away because I was going to see if there's anything else that came out. But
Got
it's
you.
just been this blanket statement, and I also read about Wells Fargo. They're laying off. I forgot what other location. They're laying off about 60 or 70 something people
Okay.
within the next few weeks. It's staggered, so they're letting off like 12 this week, and then 23 the next, and
Got you.
30 something the following week. So Wells Fargo's going through it right now.
I
So,
feel you. I feel you.
yeah.
I had a question for you though, Mentor Shelley, as a
Yes.
career professional, an HR professional.
Yes.
Um, when it comes to disengagement, how does a team recognize that? Because as I stated earlier, what about the people that I'm gonna go to work, then people ain't my friends, I'm gonna just keep my head down and drink my water? How would you notice if I'm disengaged, if my work is getting done, my attendance is great, I go to every meeting? What are the indicators that would have even shown I was disengaged?
The way in which you communicate with everyone, your facial expression,
Well, girl, I got the rest in you know what face. I got RBF. How would you know? Like for real, if I stop smiling, I
yeah.
look like a you know what. I have to smile, like I have to. So that girl,
um,
okay, I hear you, but
yeah. Well, like there's little things that you'll pick up on where I said, so what's going on? Are you good? I'll check in. I'm the HR person where
mhm,
I'm friendly enough to pick up on things.
mhm,
So I'm like, okay, what's going on? You good? Is everything all right? Are they
okay.
bothering you? Is somebody bothering you? Am I gonna, like be friendly and try to get a little laugh out of them to see where they're at, to try to check the temperature, so to speak. But
Okay, so
everybody,
you have a Rolodex, a mental Rolodex of
mhm,
everybody's temperament that you communicate with at work.
yeah, yeah,
That you know their baseline temperament.
correct, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I can tell when I'll say good morning, and I hear, mm, mm.
You can
I say,
always tell. Yeah.
yeah, like I'll say, and then I'll be like, "You ain't getting enough sleep last night, did you?" No. And then I'll hear the
Yeah.
story.
And some
Oh,
people need that. And I
yeah.
just want to say you're speaking to something important, Shelly, because I
Mhm,
think that what you would do as an HR professional, I'm going to be
mhm.
honest with you, that's above and beyond in today's work culture. And someone like you would have caught something like this, because
Absolutely.
I got one better for you and the audience. What if she came in and wasn't feeling well on Friday?
That's
Someone like Shelly would have picked up on it. But coworkers that just watch you walk by and don't say anything or give you the old head nod in the hallway, they wouldn't
mhm.
have picked up on the fact that maybe she looked a little green. And I'm not being funny, but
Yeah,
when you're sick, your color looks different.
of course.
Maybe her hair wasn't combed that day or something. There was probably some indicator that she didn't feel well.
Right.
But because no one was in touch, here we are,
Yeah,
you know? And
that's true.
and this is all alleged, guys. I'm
Of
just
course.
theorizing,
Of
right?
course. Of course.
You know.
Denise says, and those are the type of companies that want you to swipe your badge 5 times before you get to your desk.
And be making you take trainings on security, okay?
So silly. Oh boy. Academics and meeting with HR at Wells Fargo is not like me. Oh Lord.
It's true.
I've learned, and I learned a long time ago being in this field, that the most important part of being in human resources is to be a decent human. Because if you're not, you're going to make your job a lot harder than it needs to.
Right.
And unfortunately, there are some of us that are in the field of human resources that are not allowed to be as human as we'd like to be because of the type of company culture, be it be this one,
Mhm.
that we have to unfortunately help adhere to laws and rules. Yep, it seems that they are cutthroat, and
Yeah.
unfortunately the cutthroatedness of what it is, that how what they represent and what they do, is going to come and bite them in the you know what.
Mhm.
Um, all right, there's a couple more things, and then I'm gonna if you guys have questions, or you guys want to address another piece of this with us, or if you are working in this type of environment, how to function and maneuver in it. Um, I'm going to ask, how can career focused professionals remain competitive and dry and driven without falling prey to the unhealthy aspects of an isolating or toxic office culture? Be your wonderful self. Be your wonderful, beautiful self. I don't care how toxic the culture is.
Mhm.
You be that beacon of light. When you go in there and it feels like death warmed over, be the example, be the difference. Because they might be coming in there expecting everybody to be doom and gloom and boo. You be that positive light. You have no idea what kind of positive change you can affect by being your wonderful self.
Mhm.
Professional, of course, but be your wonderful self. Don't let it, and the environment dictate how you behave. Now, if you get written up for something unnecessary, or then we will have to have a different conversation, because there are situations where when you come in and disrupt the environment, then you have other people that think that it's okay to keep it that way because they have control. Now,
Mhm.
before we delve deep into that conversation, or people come with their questions, I am going to ask, guys,
Hey,
if you have
Sheree.
not subscribed to the YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe. I am on the road to 1,000 subscribers. You guys are going to get sick of my face, because I'm going to be in the place, and I have some really awesome workshops and movements within the Mentor Shelly sphere coming along the pike. Cherie, hello, Cherie. How are you? Cherie is an absolute friend and confidant of the Mentor Shelly YouTube channel, and Mentor Shelly herself. How are you doing tonight? Thank you so much for stopping by.
I'm all expecting to hear her voice.
Yeah. Wait. We're gonna say, "Hey, ladies."
Hey, ladies.
Oh, yes, of course. But this, because this can happen in any, no, this can, people can, people live, and unfortunately people make their departure out of this world. We pray and hope it is not at work that it happens, but this can happen to any of us or anybody that we work with. We hope we put things in place so it does not take 4 days to find somebody. We have to be the bright human in that environment if you go in person to work. I think part of the issue is that there may not have been anybody coming in and out on that floor. That might have been it too. But
Someone
even,
in the chat said she was hybrid.
yeah, she was hybrid, so she works sometime from home and she works sometime. I would have preferred her that happen while she was at home, man.
Well, I want to, if we can speak to the hybrid work environment,
Mhm.
um, it's not. it's not conducive to a cohesive work environment. You're not going to know your team that well if you're hybrid, because when you come in, you're either there to just show your face or you're there to get some work done and kind of keep your head down so you can get out and go home. I think the hybrid aspect kind of removes some of that old school kind of camaraderie that we had for a lot of us when we got our first careers in the workforce. You know, I'm not going to say what year I went into the workforce, but it's definitely not the same. It's not.
Yeah. I absolutely, Cherie. It's an important conversation because
It is.
it's not something that we're all human. This can happen.
Mm-hmm.
This can absolutely happen. Still rocks. How are you?
Hey.
Hey there. It's been a minute. Security is supposed to do rounds. Yeah, we talked about them
Yeah.
already.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some liability on their part because
Oh yeah.
they
People got fired.
yeah, they claim, oh, she's not near the elevator, so that was part of why she wasn't seen. Miss me with
And if she drives, her car was still in the parking lot.
that too.
Come on,
Oh
y'all. It's a lot of questions here in that
it's a
hot Arizona sun. Come on, y'all.
goodness. Yep, security and housekeeping. Yeah, like okay,
I told girl, what I
yeah,
say? What I say?
okay, because housekeeping is supposed to come check and change the garbages for all, change the garbage, clean the carpet,
Correct.
vacuum, mop the floors, whatever kind of floors they got. They're supposed to clean that every night.
Correct. And okay, and Cherie, I want to say something about what Cherie just said. When you go into a job with the keep my head down mentality and
Mm-hmm.
only focused on yourself and not the team, that this is what happens. The cleaning lady goes in and only focuses on cleaning out waste baskets. Now, I don't know what position the lady's body was in, because it could have just looked, maybe she put her head down before she passed away because she wasn't feeling good. So
Yeah,
the cleaning lady very well could have thought this woman was sleeping.
sleeping.
And what if she was back with her eyes closed? Okay, I sit like that in here all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if somebody walked in, they probably would think I was gone. But look, I'm snoozing, right? So
Yeah, but
I
if
could,
you're not sure, then touch. Hey, be a human.
girl,
Be a
I,
human.
I will say this. I'm going to be honest with you, and I want to take the temperature of the chat if that's okay. I have been in an office late at night when the cleaning crew comes in. They will not bother you. They literally will keep their head down and they'll only say hello if you make eye contact, if you're lucky. I had like the women would kind of the ones that came in our office, if I was sitting at my cubicle or whatever at like, 6:37,
Mm-hmm.
she'd come by, and if I was up and alert, she'd say, "Oh, can I trash?" Because I'm sorry, y'all, but there's a language barrier with a lot of
Mm-hmm.
those crews.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't go out of their way to speak to you. So there's so many
There's so
aspects
many.
to
Yeah,
this. And it
there.
was Arizona, so it's
Mm-hmm.
very likely that could have been the case too. You
Oh,
know what I mean? And I'm trying, like, again, I was trying to say it in a politically correct way, still rocks, okay? I was trying to be politically correct. But I remember that in that office environment, they do not speak to you like that. It's no, you don't get to know the cleaning lady. It's not like that.
oh wow.
Because by the time they come in, y'all are already gone at home, and you just come in
Mm-hmm.
and your trash is clean. So
Yes, Still Rocks makes a very valid point. Here at campus, the security I work at, we
mhm.
have to check empty buildings all the time. You're right, and then that's why you're supposed to speak to the housekeeping and security too. Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm not. I have to make sure I say hello to everybody. How you doing today? They come and check twice a day.
But let's say she did have her head down. Really, I'm just saying, like, okay, as a cleaning person,
Mm-hmm.
they literally tell them, do not be walking through like having conversations with people. So I'm only thinking that she must have already been gone, meaning, she passed away already.
Mm,
And her body may have been postured to where she looked like she was sleeping. So all the lady's going to do is slide past her, get
and
the
get the
wastebasket
credit.
and be quiet, or she's going to pass by altogether, and maybe say, okay, I'll get it tomorrow, or I'll get it on Monday when I come back. You know what I mean? So there's a lot. I don't know.
There's a lot of unanswered questions with this whole situation.
For sure.
So many people are mean to the cleaning crew, so they don't say anything. That is true. That
My
is
point
very
exactly.
true. Like they're not humans too. Miss me with all of that. Still, Rock says not the accent. Yeah,
I was trying
that's
to be
also
correct.
sometimes a factor depending on who is there.
Well, that's what I said. That there's language barriers, Shelly. There's so many layers to that.
Yeah.
I can't put much blame on the cleaning crew because I just don't think this was merry maids coming in there, bright and shiny that talks to everybody. I don't think that's who the cleaning crew was. I'm gonna
No,
put that on the record.
that's true. Raina Love, welcome to the chat. Yeah, this is
Hey.
a very interesting situation. I'll say that.
Mhm.
Still Rock say I used to talk to them. Yeah, I I mess with all of them now. I'm like, well, I joke around because I'm like, hi, how you doing, whatever.
Right.
And Denise says, like you said, her car was in the parking lot. Exactly. And it's Arizona. She probably drove to the office. Now, if she took an Uber, then
That's
then
possible too.
that's possible too.
Yeah.
If she drove the car was sitting there for days as if and if there was a shift change, there would
Right.
be questions. Yeah, if it's a 24/7 building, there's always going to be a car there. Or if it's not, then there should have been some form of concern. If security saw her car, then it'd be like, who's still here? That should have also prompted security. Um, and Teresa, don't blame the cleaning lady. I don't necessarily blame the cleaning
Mm,
lady or the cleaning guy either, because
I don't.
they give them specific instructions, maybe not to interact. So I understand that piece.
That's it.
But
That's
the
it.
security, they got some liability here because they ain't do their job. If they did their job, she wouldn't have been there that long.
Well, it really does uncover the fact that all of these trainings they have us sit in with this badge code of conduct, swipe your thing, don't let anybody walk in behind you. They got to swipe their own badge to get in. All of that, they're uncovering the fact that it's BS because security or whomever is supposed to check every scanned ID or whatever
Mhm.
should have seen a discrepancy with
Yeah.
her not clicking out or logging out or whatever it was. Somebody should have seen it. So they're not even following their own policies. This is a bank. Come on,
This
guys, like
is
a bank
exact-
company
and this
or
is
organization.
and this is part of why they're kind of being quiet about the whole situation.
Hmm.
Let's see here. Extreme says so not showing up to work 1, 2, 3 days is automatic no call no show,
Right.
which triggers the supervisor to contact you or HR.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we're calling. If we don't call, the supervisor calls or texts, "Hello, smoke signal. Are you alive?" That's
Hmm.
sometimes when we find out that employees may have been in an accident and they've been in the hospital. But
Right.
we would hope that they urge family members to call us so we know what's going on if they're not able to speak to us themselves. So it's all, as I said, it's all part of us. It's all part of us being humans to each other, even at work. Because
Right.
I know for sure a big part of my job is dealing with all levels of employees, um, whether from a positive standpoint or a negative standpoint. Saying hello, asking how you doing, is not going to take nothing off of me. And if it's going to make you feel better or make your day go by faster, then I'm going to do it because that's just me as a person. Now, other people, boo, you know, that's a thing. Forgive me, guys. Victoria stepped away for a moment. But if you guys have questions or you definitely want to add to the chat, absolutely do that. Let's see here. Still Rock says, I know y'all already said it, but I used to work at a branch for Wells Fargo. Yeah, the cleaning crew only get the trash. Might sweep if there's something big on the floor. Yeah, we're gonna. I mean, they may not even vacuum every night like they're supposed to because they want to do what they need to do and get out and say, oh, it's fully clean. when the carpet ain't been vacuumed for 2 weeks. You never know when it comes to or it depends on if they're only supposed to vacuum twice a week, depending on what their protocol and their process is. We'll see how that goes. And of course, academic and meaningful education says not an excuse. Management is overworked from all the layoffs. They're about to be overworked some more because based on the articles I read today about Wells Fargo, they're gonna lay off some more people.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, Credit Solutionists, we know you came back. Hello, welcome back. At the end of the day, guys, I wanted to discuss this because a part of being in human resources is all of us, for all of us to truly be decent humans to each other at work. There are some work environments that I will say does not give rise to that, unfortunately. And it may not be as welcoming, it may not be as inviting to say hello to your neighbor, but it ain't gonna cost you nothing. Even if they don't respond, just be a decent human. Eventually you wear them down. After day 3, they're not answering you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but at the end of the day, guys, if you're in these work environments, try to be the decent human that brings some light and humor to the room. You may think you're not making a difference, but when you're not there, your presence is felt. You're when you're not there, they miss your presence. They be like, where's Natsona? Where's this or where's this person? Where's Larry? Where's Mo? Where is John? John
Mm-hmm.
didn't come in today. I didn't get my update on the sports. Or Sally didn't come in today. We didn't hear about what's going on the news because she talk about the news all the time. Whatever it is, you may not be in that environment, but you can do your best to foster that along with doing your work. Of course. Still Rock says, you're asking me, Mentor Shelley, what are some of the buzzwords to put on your resume to show management experience? Ah, that's a going in a different direction. Still rocks. Usually reserve these type of questions for a consultation, but still rocks. She been rocking with me for a good little minute, so we.
He being strategic. I see what he doing. He said, yeah, she know me, she like me. Come on, girl. Oh, I see what you doing, brother.
I'll definitely address this. And then of course, if you wanted to do anything more, as far as get more details and let's really work on something, then we can definitely have a discussion offline. um you want to put things like developed. You want to talk about things like you wanted to say you had a transform, you're communicating that you've achieved something, you've increased sales by XYZ, or you have made some form of transformational change in the roles that you're in now. I was going to say that because they want to know that you can listen. Always remember, at the end of the day, companies want you to add to their bottom line and decrease their expenses. I don't care what the company does, makes, they want you to increase their bottom line and they want you to reduce their expenses. If they're making pancakes or they're selling courses. So, whatever you're doing, if it's not contributing to one or the other, they do not value it. So, human resources, unfortunately, is a part of where we're helping the company to reduce expenses because if you do stuff careless, like fire somebody wrongfully, that is a wrongful termination suit possibly on your hands.
Mm-hmm.
But if the company makes shoes and you are a worker on the floor that makes shoes, that is increasing the bottom line of the company. So if you're not increasing the bottom line or you're not helping them to reduce expenses, they do not value the skill that you bring to the table.
Right.
So, in understanding the process of what does a company want, if they want one of those two things, your leadership skills should speak to that. You improved your team's um quality numbers by X number of percentages, even if it's 10%, it makes a difference because they want you to communicate that you can make a positive change and add more money to their bottom line. And then the if you make the millions, you might get thousands. But I'm just giving that as an example. Of course, still rocks. You know, I was gonna say some of those things because you've been listening to us for quite some time, so you kind of understand where we're going with that. Okay, Reina says interesting. Farida says, um, I also think you should add some hobbies and volunteer outside of work. Farida, if it's not if it's not going to translate into the job you're going to do, don't put that on there. Don't put that on there. Only because you want to use the space on your resume to speak to one, the experience that you bring, the value you're going to bring to that organization, and how you're going to help them increase profits or reduce their expenses. Okay. All right, Trey, this is the last. Let me say, Trey, if you can make money, if you can save them money, and if you can save them time, that's also a good one. Thank you, Trey. That's also a good one. Um, Still rocks. If you do want to book a consult, you know what to do. And if there's anyone on here that wants to book a consult, you can go ahead and do that at mentorshelly.com/consultations. However, any last comments in regards to that Wells Fargo lady? Because Wells Fargo, number one, is going to be in some hot water in regards to this lady. And two, oh, okay. What did you say? I'm sorry, you
I
said.
wanted to touch on what Farida said too.
I also think you should have some hobbies and stuff outside of work. Okay. Um, let's see here. Here's what you can use that for. You can talk about that information in the interview if it comes up and you're having that rapport with the interviewer. That can be discussed in that sense and use that as icing on the cake in an interview, so to speak, if it comes up. But if it's not speaking directly to what it is that they're looking for, use the space on your resume to communicate your value. Okay. Let's see.
Can we go back to what Farida said though?
Farida said where?
She was right above Trey.
Right above. Right
Because
here.
and I also think Cherie probably would have some input about this. She was saying that the lady that passed away should have had hobbies. She was speaking to the fact that this lady probably
my bad. I misunderstood.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about something else. I just wanted to go back to what she was saying because I wanted to touch on that really quick because I was actually listening to Cherie. I think her live stream was earlier today, but I caught the replay. But when you talk about this tragedy, it's not just that an employee died in the workplace. It's that an older person died in the workplace, an older woman died in the workplace, and to our knowledge, no one was looking for her. So it speaks to the fact that this may have allegedly been a very isolated woman. No one in her family was looking for her, possibly. And if she had hobbies or, interest outside of work, someone would have missed her at the tennis courts or, at the game night, card night, whatever. Somebody would have missed her if she had hobbies outside of work. So I think that's a very interesting point that Farida is touching on. And I will also just say this before we close out here, where I feel that this actually would have been a great topic to talk with Cherie about. As women, we do have to pay attention to these things. We don't, because the way the world is going in the economy, if we don't get our stuff together right now, we will be that 60-year-old woman in that cubicle. Okay. And our life will be 80% work to the point that we have nowhere to go on a Friday night and we could very well die at our cubicle. So, what do you think about that, Shelly, as far as do you feel that this was a person that people were looking for her? Like, what do you think?
Well, keep in mind, your personal life is that personal, and if they were looking
Mhm.
for her, they may not have gotten her on the phone, so they may wait a couple days and that's oh, she'll call me back when she has time,
Mhm.
depending on if she's introverted or extroverted. um Introverted may only be at work. She may be more expressive with people that she's related to or good friends. She doesn't
Mhm.
have a circle of friends that check on her on a regular basis. That's also very important.
Mhm.
Or you have a specific relative or family that checks on you on a regular basis. If they haven't heard from you in 24 hours, then there's going to be some, oh, what's going on? We need to find out what is happening.
Right.
This is her phone number. Can you trace it to this? Whatever. Like, there's going to be some action taken if they can't find you within a specific period of time. So
Mhm.
it's either she may have been widowed, she may have been, we're not sure. A lot of details we weren't given. She may have been widowed. She may have had family, but they're far away, so they're not physically able to. So the only way to keep in contact with her is the phone.
Mhm.
And of course, if they're calling her phone and she doesn't answer, eventually the phone dies because it was 4 days. So they're calling and they're not getting her.
Mhm.
So it would either be, I'm thinking it would either be the smell or the somebody may have said, well, we can't get her on the phone. It's been X number of days. Sometimes we do need to be alarmed if we don't hear from people. And if we know that they live, either they live alone or they're living by themselves in a different part of the country, whatever the case may be, check on your people. Just check on your people. You never
I'm
know.
telling you, and those of y'all, I'm guilty
Mhm.
that we let our voicemail box get full to where can't nobody leave us a message, or we don't set up our voicemails. If we are going to go into this singledom and we're going to be independent and whatever, this is an aside. I just want to be clear. I'm not speaking to this topic, but it's like you need to structure your life in such a way that if something like this happens to you,
It's a caution.
okay, you'll
Yeah,
be taken care of, because that's what I saw as a woman. This was a cautionary tale
yeah, for all.
because
Yeah, it is. It is. Oh, I didn't hear from
yeah,
such.
I've worked with
Yeah.
tons of women in their 60s and all they know how to do is work. That's all they know how to do. They just go to work and they said, if I retire, I will probably die within a year. I have worked with women that said that, executives, okay?
Wow. Yeah.
It exists. That's why this story was touching to me, in the sense that, wow, that
Mhm.
could be me. That could be me. You know, there's nothing, as much as I want to think this is a wild story, it's not, because this is the direction we're headed in,
Mm-mm. It's not. It's not a
you know?
wild story at all.
Mm-mm.
Trey, Mr. Wilson, we gonna have to talk offline. Go ahead and book a
What happened?
consult. We gonna have to talk offline. For sure. You aren't okay. It can be a chore at times. I know. I'm naturally an introvert, but people are like, "You're an introvert." Yeah,
Mhm.
by nature, most people wouldn't realize that, but I am. But I've
Mhm.
been in human resources so long, there are parts of me that have become extroverted because of what it is that I do. So,
Mhm.
my profession has also trained me to be able to address a room, be able
Mhm.
to present, different things like that,
Okay.
throughout my career. So, um,
Mhm.
Farida, you did bring up a very valuable point because if she has, you are right. Of course, Cherie, you should definitely build community with your family, build community with your friends that live close by. If some emergent thing happens, you should be in contact with, you have people that are fairly close by that can jump in for if anything, if you have a situation that's happening.
Mhm.
Yeah, Cherie says, I know my mom's friends and I have their numbers just in case. Exactly.
You
This is a
have to.
cautionary tale. We do have to have community. This definitely um was an eye opener for me from a professional and a personal standpoint. We can't just go for, we don't hear from somebody and sometimes it's, oh, they'll call me back. But if I know what your living situation is, and I
Mhm.
know you're by yourself, and I know that you know the community around you may or may not be as strong, then I'm calling again, and I'm not going to stop calling till I hear from you. Of course, I'm not going to do stalker level callings like some people in the news are doing to people that can rat them out, but we're not going to talk about that. That's a whole nother messy subject for another day.
I
So,
was just gonna say something so goofy. I'm like, y'all, I love a stalker friend, but I don't mean physically outside my place, but I
no,
mean,
no,
if I don't pick up the first time, I might have missed your call. So
yeah.
I appreciate that kind of.
Yeah, so it's just out of concern and love, if anything. But
Mm.
guys, any last words, any questions, concerns outside of the Mr. Trey or Mr. Still Rocks? You're gonna have to have a conversation with me. If there's anyone in the chat that is looking for some clarity as far as what they're going to be doing with their career, if they need to make a pivot, if you need to launch into business ownership, or you want to develop a business, Miss Credit Solutionist, do you have something that can help the budding business owners in the chat?
I do, guys. You can go over to the Solutionist University. I don't have my links ready because I wasn't going to promote tonight, but you guys can go look for the business blueprint. But it's honestly in the links in my other videos, so you guys can check that out. I'm honestly not going to be promoting that right now until I get my other YouTube channel set up for it's going to be strictly business over there. So
Right.
we're going to compartmentalize this thing.
We
Okay.
definitely, well, we definitely want the people to know what you have to offer to help them,
Yeah.
take on their business ventures. Of course, I do have consultations available at mentorshelly.com/consultations. I do have a new program specifically tailored to ex-trad wives that are coming out of very difficult situations, and they have to rebuild their own personal economy after being dependent, but on another human to do so for them. In the next couple of weeks, I am working on some things behind the scenes, and you will be seeing me in these YouTube streets a lot more. So this internet got to get it together because we have work to do. All right, guys. If there's anyone that wants to say anything, any last statements, hellos, goodbyes before we get out of here. Guys, I really do appreciate all of you for stopping by. Academic of Meaningful Education, thank you so much. Still Rocks, of course. We enjoy it every time you come here. Very informative. Yes, sir. Miss Farida James, thank you so much for stopping by. Cherie,
Yes, yes,
you
yes.
are a friend of the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we appreciate you. Um, Trey,
Actually, I was gonna say you didn't address one very important question here. I don't know if you wanted to touch on it before we go.
which is
You asked a very important question here. How can employees in isolating work cultures take steps to create boundaries and manage their workload effectively? Did you ask that question?
I didn't ask that question, but
Maybe we could cover it next time or something because
we
that was very important to this conversation tonight.
we definitely can address that in another
Yeah.
video, because we are going to be touching on different work environments and how to function and thrive in them. That is going to be another that's going to be another video very in the very near future. Raina
Girl,
Love.
Alonzo still asking questions. Girl, you got like 4 consultations lined up already. Yeah.
Alonzo Hall, social media insurance brother. Thank you so much for stopping by. You were driving. Oh, I appreciate it. You can go ahead, and you're going to be able to watch the replays. Farida. Oh, come on. Okay, come on. Still rock.
Alonzo, you better book that consultation.
Of course. Let me see here. I didn't want to forget Denise. Of course, I can't forget Denise. Denise always stops by. And everyone that joined us, Extreme came by. Thank you so much. The goddess Athena, of course. AM1. Let's see here. And everyone, if I missed you, God, please forgive me. Char Willie, of course, that came at the first, and Your Green Thumb. Everyone that came by the chat, thank you so much for joining the conversation. Of course, if you guys have questions, concerns about career and what it is that you want to do, definitely I can definitely work with you at mentorshelly.com/consultation. We can definitely have that discussion. If you are looking just initially to make changes in your career and you're looking for some help with that, we can definitely start by going to mentorshelly.com/DCG, which is the Dream Career Guide. That's a freebie for everyone that was here tonight. And of course, Stream One Love, ladies. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. This is Mentor Shelley, and the credit solution is Victoria Lanford. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And of course, this is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally, no matter what the situation. What the situation calls for, even in death. We want you to be your much better professional self, although we can't prevent it, but we need some of these companies to take some responsibility. But we're going to talk about that in the next video. Sure. All right, guys. You guys have a good one. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Bye.
Good night.